Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our meeting today. This is Observation Video 2 Focus Group, meeting part 2 with the formal observation. So we're going to start with introducing ourselves. I'll go first. My name is Brittany Veasey-White, and I'm the intern here at E.A. Jones Elementary School.
I am Brandy Jones, and I'm the assistant principal here.
I'm Vanya Ahmad. I'm the bilingual specialist.
Elizabeth Gavanna, and I'm the school counselor.
Thank you so much, ladies. Now we're going to review our norms, our same norms that we used in video 1. The first one is be engaged. Our second one is be on time. And our last one is be respectful. In video 1, our TELPAS data showed that our EB students needed targeted support in speaking and writing across the campus grade level, needed to improve on their speaking and writing because it was in the lowest domain. Okay. Well, the purpose of this video today is, the purpose of this practicum observation activity is to provide the intern, me, an opportunity to collaborate with his or her grade level team or department team, professional learning community team, or campus faculty group in a 45-minute focus group discussion to improve student achievement. Okay? So now we're going to move on. I want to thank you all so much for the input and for being open to this collaboration process. Let's take a moment to connect our discussion back to our data from our TELPAS report. So our data showed that all of our emergent bilingual students were performing at intermediate proficiency level, both in speaking and writing. This means students can express simple ideas, but often struggle to elaborate, use complex sentences, or apply content-specific vocabulary. I want to ask, why do we think that this is happening here at E.A. Jones?
I believe because we need to implement more opportunity for them to speak and writing. We have been concentrate a lot about reading and listening, and then this call our attention that we need to find a ways to increase the level of speaking, writing, and also speaking is where the kids feel shy. So as they take the pass online and they need to talk to the computer, so they feel they feel really shy. Sometimes the microphone has an issue too. So we have to consider many facts.
Yes. So then, okay, and so that with them feeling shy, I think it's a trickle down effect because you got to see if it's siblings here, right? It's typically like families, and they see the older sibling, and it's like they mimic the younger sibling mimics the older sibling. And I will say, just from on my side of the table, there are a lot of bilingual teachers who allow that. They use that as, I don't want to say a crutch, but they allow the reluctant speaker, the selective mutism. They allow those things to occur, whereas I'm like, no, like, don't accept it, but it's a real thing. And so
I've seen it maybe like having a sibling, like you said, speak for them and let
Yes,
them
they do
speak
it
for themselves. I've seen that too.
And those are small things, I think, that prohibits them from advancing, right? You see it too.
Yeah, the lack of opportunity and chances
And
for them
chances
to practice and speak up.
practice it.
Yes.
Speaking part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because even Miss Guevara be like, oh, I pull such and such to the side, and she'll get way more out of the kid than we do if I were to pass by and say it like from down the hallway or when it's more people around. So I think it's also a conversation that needs to be around our bilingual teachers, ESL teachers too. Like, do not accept the reluctant. I mean, they may be reluctant, but you have to create ways to
pull it out.
entry
A
levels.
safe environment.
Yeah.
Trusted environment that they will be able to express themselves.
So, you guys as bilingual students growing up, did you guys like experience that? Is that something normal?
It is normal because when you don't know the
Really?
second language, you feel like you don't want to make mistakes.
Mhm.
And then people keep correcting you too.
Yes.
So that is the good thing
Okay.
mhm, about the dual language now,
Right.
that we have the right to mix, to speak English and
And
Spanish
Spanish.
mix
Good.
until you can be able
Confident.
confident, so you
Mhm.
are not cutting, you are not making the student feel that worry about
Like, oh, I
that.
might as well not say
'Cause,
nothing.
like I can say the half of the sentence, but then the other one. So now I can see that this is changing, but growing up and have to speak another language, you feel like, should I
Say
say that?
this, is this
This
right?
is right
Yeah.
there to correct, my pronunciation and things. Then you don't talk, you don't speak.
Yes, I
Go-
can definitely
You
understand.
I
can't-
refuse to speak English.
really, when
When
you
you
were
were
younger?
I was
Oh,
told
wow.
My
Mhm.
dad, I don't want to say it because it's in video, but let's just say I had some negative
Yeah.
consequences
Yeah.
if I didn't learn how to
Yes.
speak and defend myself.
Yeah.
It took me, I was in high school.
Yes.
Really?
Wow.
But did you know the language prior
I
to?
did, but I just refused to because I was so comfortable speaking Spanish. And for me, you were taking me away from my environment where I felt
Mhm.
comfortable and secure. So
Mm.
you're making me go into an environment that is not my environment.
So how did
That
the
is-
teachers reach you? Like, how did they know you knew English?
Because I did my work. Like when I did my writing assignments or my math, I mean, I showed that I knew it. It's just I refused to speak it.
Mhm.
So they would pull me on the side and they would ask me
Mhm.
questions and I would speak to them and I would answer.
Mhm.
And they were, okay, you
This
know
is
it.
interesting because was a tail pass back then?
No,
So okay, so
So
you
we
would be a
didn't-
kid
we
who
didn't-
probably scored low in speaking, but high in writing, and probably reading, right? And listening,
Mm.
because you didn't speak it, practice speaking.
so I did.
But
it's
she
just-
could. She was just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable. And that's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. The uncomfortable part plays a huge role.
Yeah.
Because you don't get practice
Yeah.
if you're
Mhm.
If you
uncomfortable.
go to
Yeah.
a student and try to correct the pronunciation or the thing, the student's not going to speak it.
Yeah, they
Not
may
again.
shut down.
And
Really?
when I was growing up, we didn't have a lingual education.
Yeah.
It was all monolingual.
Really?
So, and they had ESL with some ESL strategies, but for me, it got used to where the teacher knew that in order for me to speak, he had to pull me to the side. And it was a one-to-one. I was never forced to do it in front of the whole class because he knew I would shut down in that.
Mhm.
Even though I knew it and I knew the concept, I just didn't do it.
So that's why now we are considering all components,
Mhm.
like we want the students to be bilingual, biliterate, but then the social part needs to play a role too. We are not leaving the social
Separated.
separate.
Oh,
Now we
yeah,
say,
okay.
So we want you to feel proud that
Mhm.
you speak another language, that you are learning another language, you don't need to forget,
Your
to
language.
feel ashamed of your
Mhm.
language. You can be, bicultural. You
Yeah.
can be biliterate. You can be bilingual. So that's why we have been trying when we talk to the teachers to do the poster for the 3 pillars of the dual language.
Okay.
Because we want the kids to understand, the power they have.
Yes.
So it's okay, So
Yeah.
things are going to change.
That's good.
Yeah.
And building a rapport, once you build a rapport with your students, like she said, her teacher pulled her to the side. That's why it's so important to build a rapport and know your students, because you may have to just pull that kid to the side every day, and that's their differentiation. You're working with them, you making sure that you can pull it out of them until they're comfortable.
And that's probably a strategy. I again, as an administrator, that's something I need to use, like lean in. Cause I lean down and then but it may be other kids around. So I gotta start saying, come over here.
Yeah.
Like, let's pull
Yeah.
it to the
Because you might
side.
intimidate.
Yeah.
When you're just
Yeah.
sitting down
Yeah.
and depending how you do it,
Yeah.
you might make me intimidated where I'm not gonna.
And
Yeah.
don't take me wrong, but sometimes I've seen teachers, like asking a question to a bilingual student,
Mhm.
not the bilingual student teacher, okay, but
Yeah.
ask a student, and then the student couldn't answer, and then the teacher was like, "Look at me, don't you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Look to
Yes.
me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
And you can see them trying to
they-
formulate. Some of the
Yeah.
kids will be like,
Do you
And then
understand?
Yeah.
and then the look at me that goes with different cultures too.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to be able to understand.
But
all
like you
that.
said, having that, it's always a kid that protects and like gonna speak for them. No.
Will be the
Yeah,
advocate.
yeah. And so
That's
that's
the kid I was.
yeah.
But not the bilingual. I mean, not the
Yes.
Hispanic population.
Yeah.
We are
Yes.
more like,
Yeah, they
right?
protect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk to us like that, we'll be like,
Shut down, but
oh,
it is a
exactly.
stronger
Because I'm
speaking.
not going to respond to you. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be, gonna say unpolite or to
Mhm.
respect, but I'm going to
Shut down. Cause like I understand.
Because
Like I
that's
can
the way,
always
yeah, that's our
see
culture.
points of view.
I know.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
Well, that was excellent, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So our goal as a team is to move these students toward
Yeah.
advanced and
Yeah.
advanced high proficiency levels by providing consistent opportunities for structured academic talk and writing practice.
Yeah.
Now I want to know, well, we've kind of already talked about it. How can we push our students
Yeah.
from advanced to advanced high in other places? How are we going to be able as a campus to do that? And we kind of discussed that, but if we could talk just a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
So we are going to move them first for intermediate to
Yeah,
advanced.
Intermediate,
Okay,
advanced,
okay.
and then advanced high.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we already had like a mini PD doing PLT with each grade level,
Mm-hmm.
where I present the data from TELPAS last year.
Mhm.
And then the teacher had to analyze it and observe what was the area that was low.
Mhm.
And then we discuss about the academic discourse
Mhm.
strategies that could be used in the classroom.
Yes.
So what's very interesting because like, for example, for kinder and first grade,
Mhm.
so the teachers were like, well, right now, what we can do is like the partner A and partner B,
Yeah.
and then use sentence stems to, to help them to
With that.
say things, right?
Mhm.
And then for the upper grade level, then they will talk about, okay, let's do QSSA. So then let's do talking tips. So each grade level, they are, in agreement what they are going to use.
Mhm.
And we are going to do this, implement that consistently, and also during planning time. When we are planning, we are going to choose, where we are going to use this. It's going to be in a small group, it's going to be in a focus lesson, I do, you do,
Yeah.
where we are going to. So this is going to be well planned.
Okay.
Mhm.
That way that it's not like, oh, we are going to do one day. No.
Right.
And it's
Every
not
day.
just in ELA.
Right.
We had the meeting with the math teachers too.
Yeah.
And we said, this is for math, this is for science, this is for, it's every, because before, this is a good change too. Before the ELA teacher was the one in charge of doing all that.
Oh.
Mhm.
Now it's not like that. That's why now, for example, ESL teachers need to be,
Yeah.
all teachers need
All
to be
teachers need to
certified.
be certified.
Because you have to implement the speaking and the writing in all subjects.
All subjects across the
So-
board.
So by doing that, making sure that all students have opportunity to speak, then they will feel comfortable too,
Mhm.
because they know and then they have the support.
Yeah.
They have the sentence frames, they have the exemplars, and that way they feel, for example, the talking chips, it's good because the kids feel like it's a game.
Yes.
Give the chips for them, and then we encourage them. We say, if you use all your chips, you get a point.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh,
Yeah.
they're all doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And the QSSA, they also like this because, it's very visual there, it's, so we are trying to do this in a way that the students, they don't feel this is, they are forcing to do things,
Mhm.
but this is
Naturally.
naturally.
Mhm.
And also for the teachers, that this is not one more thing for you to do.
Mhm.
It's already
That's what. Yeah.
added in your plan,
Mhm.
Because I was in a classroom where it was the reverse. The kid needed to speak Spanish,
Mm.
and he was so uncomfortable
Mm.
because
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess he acquired a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
English,
yeah.
and he knows Spanish, but
And let me tell you one more thing for the
Mhm.
bilingual,
Yeah.
the dual language.
Mhm.
I have been talking to the teacher that is very important, the bilingual pair.
Yes.
right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because like when you mention about this student,
Yes.
he's very strong in English.
He is, yeah.
He feels comfortable
He
speaking
does,
English.
yeah.
And
He needs to be
Spanish.
paired
Yeah,
with
with
a
a strong
student,
Spanish student.
strong Spanish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe he cannot speak, but then he can repeat
Right.
what his friends. So
Right.
start with the repetition, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So that he cannot say it, so the bilingual pair will say it, and then he repeats. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
So
That's
it
a good
feels like-
support. Yeah. Because it has I guess the inverse effect, right?
Mhm,
So you'll have socially strong English
mhm,
kids who are learning English, right? I'm trying to say they're more stronger socially than academically, right?
Mhm.
And then you see the reverse. You'll see bilingual students who are stronger in English academically and stronger in Spanish socially. But the goal is to get them strong in English and Spanish academically.
Yes.
The social, like you said,
Yeah.
it comes.
And it's beautiful. For example, in
Yeah.
fourth grade, like we have a mix there. We have
Yes, it is. Yes, we saw.
strong Spanish.
Yes, it's like left and right. Yeah,
Here and
here, yeah.
So then there is one concept is all in English.
Yeah.
So of course the Spanish speakers they feel lost. you
Yep,
know.
they do.
So but if you pair, I said, okay, everybody, who is strong. So they were together. So they were reading a passage in English, but they were talking in Spanish.
Oh,
Yes,
so
yeah.
well, the story about it was so it was explaining.
Yeah.
So the student has the skills. For example, they
Yeah.
know what a central idea is,
Right.
but they could not read the. So when they
passage,
start discussing, and they say, "Oh,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
what
yeah. So they helped
happened,"
it. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was like, "Yeah, this can work,"
Yeah.
So
I
then
like the
they-
pairs.
Me too.
I like
so
the
comfortable, right?
pairs. Yeah.
The same in first grade. In first grade, we have like 15 minutes ELD.
Mhm.
ELD is when they has
What's ELD?
ELD is the English language development
Okay.
that they have like 15 minutes
Yeah.
to learn the foundation.
And what is it like the phonics part? And
Yeah, but see, they have 2 days phonics, then it's comprehension.
Mhm.
And then it's amazing because we do have kids in first grade, they're strong in English.
Yeah, they are.
they're my buddies.
Yeah, because they help you with the
Yeah.
kids.
Uh-huh.
The teacher,
Yeah.
making gestures, like, okay, we are reading about the story. We are going to observe the feelings, the character feelings. And then he said, the character, he can feel sad.
Oh, that's good.
Can feel worried,
Ah.
and then as he was doing the gesture, then the little boy was saying sad in English.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
good.
the other girl said, I don't know. I'm not saying, you're not saying English. And he said, sad.
Happy.
And
Yeah.
I said, yeah, pair them together.
Together.
Because they
Will
feel
help. Yep.
comfortable.
Here.
That's
here's
so
the-
rewarding.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
After that, the kids, so the teacher was saying, okay, so say, and then he was giving sentence stem. And then he said, okay, so the character is feeling, and then the name of, I forgot the name of Jan. Jan was feeling sad. And they were like, Jan was feeling,
If they do the face.
So
All right. I love that. Like that is I'm smiling ear to ear because it's super rewarding. And
Yeah.
now I need to make time so I can go over there and see them.
Yes. Yeah.
Practice during your recess time with the kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, because I have Mateo, Jonathan, and my favorite Lucas.
Yeah.
I love it.
they do amazing. And you
Yeah.
think like, and that's the difference now.
Mhm.
Because in the past was only in Spanish.
Mhm.
Now, and then the teacher say, but Miss Amanda, it's only 15 minutes. But it's powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful because they are learning phonics. So they are learning the foundation and then they are learning comprehension too.
Yes.
They read a lot.
Yeah.
So it's
And then they go
amazing.
to math and they work in
Oh,
English.
then is it?
Mhm.
Yep.
So you can tell.
Every day
Yes.
practicing in
Yes.
those 15 minutes.
Yes. Consistently.
Mhm.
So our structured interaction strategies that we have decided on as a campus across grade levels is the first one, talking chips, which is equal participation for every student. Every student speaks one before anyone repeats. We also have QSSA, which is question, signal, stem, share, assess, which is like a game. Actually, yes. And it's like a structured response framework for academic talk. It gets them to talking. Our third one is talk, read, talk, write, where they connect oral language to reading and writing tasks. And then our fourth one is try it, discuss it, connect it, which it encourages hand-on exploration with discussions and real-world connections, which is my favorite. I was making connections just by our conversation. So I feel like when they're able to make a connection, they're able to learn. Because if they can identify with something that like, hey, this, I remember I saw this on TV, or I saw this in another story. I read this in a book, or I went here before and the character did that too. That they're able to learn more academically like that as well. So,
Can I ask a
yeah.
question?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I guess for me, would like the strategies look the same moving kids from intermediate
Oh,
to
that was your question. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so moving for intermediate to advanced and even to advanced high, you can use this.
The same strategies.
The
Okay.
thing about advanced high, when they reach advanced high, so we don't need give them accommodation anymore.
Okay. Okay.
We can continue to give complex text. They have to write, use complex sentence, so you're going to continue to push the student.
Okay. Okay.
But once they get to advance, see, this is the crucial part. It's difficult to move them to intermediate to
Advance. Yeah. It's hard.
It's hard
Oh.
to get to this point. But once they get to this, so if you push them more, then they will be advanced. Advanced at a high, then we don't use accommodation.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
They are ready.
So my next question is, which of these strategies do we think will have the most impact on our EB students? Which one of those strategies out of QSSA, talking chips, read, talk, write, try it, discuss it, connect it, will have the most impact on our EB students?
I'm saying, okay, I think these strategy lends itself to a particular how do you say it, component of the tail pass, because it's like speaking. I saw the talking chips in action, right? I saw it like it forced the kids because and plus once you're out of chips, you can't speak anymore. So kids was like trying to answer, and they realized, wait, let me hold my chip so that I can I want to answer later. So I think definitely the talking chips speak to speaking. I guess we would need expertise of Miss Amato to determine if that will help the writing, or the other strategies mentioned will support the writing.
So let me tell you that when the students can speak, they can write.
Okay.
So that's why we say speak and write. So if they do the talking chips, like you were saying, with fidelity, that they have the sentence systems and everything. So after that, what we do, we say, okay, so let's say that you were discussing about the character influence and the other characters, right?
Yeah.
And then they discuss. I discuss with you, I think that. Okay, so now write, about this.
Yes.
They will be able to write because they already discussed.
Okay.
So
the strategies, I guess,
for speaking,
they kind of help support all. So the strategies we implement need to be strategies that support all domains.
All domains. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Reading when I gave the PD for the teachers, that's what I thought. I said, we are discussing here more speaking and writing, because reading, they have to read every day. Listening, they are listening
naturally, all that,
but the speaking is that we don't give them the opportunities. And then they need to have the opportunity, be structured. And then after that, we need to incorporate writing with the writing.
Yeah.
We
So
cannot
connect the
just
speaking to the writing.
Just do the speaking part and forget the writing. Like, for example, you were discussing math.
Yeah.
a word problem. Okay,
Mhm.
how did you get to this solution,
Mhm.
to this answer? So the students, oh, you know what? It was a two-step problem.
Mhm.
So I identified that I had to multiply first, la, 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 la. So
Mhm.
now write your
Right.
explanation, your
Yeah.
reasoning.
Yeah. Okay.
So we want them to
Yeah.
discuss first.
Okay, so now I see it in a different way
Mhm.
because I'm clearly connecting the talking chips to speaking.
Yeah,
And saw that it did promote more
yeah,
conversation in the classroom,
yeah.
but I guess I didn't
And
see it
it's
as a
funny because
strategy.
in math, I see, because I always see this in English, but in math, when I saw in math, I thought it was amazing. You know, I went to to the
Mhm.
second grade,
Mhm.
and then they had to solve a problem, and then they had to discuss, and then but the teacher had everything very well planned.
Mhm.
So the questions were there, the sentence
Oh,
stems were
good.
there. So they were discussing about, oh, my strategy is to get to this answer. I did
Mhm.
this. And they said, oh, I use another strategy, you know, da, 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 da. And then the teacher, okay, after discuss with your friend, write your,
Mhm.
you
I
know,
love that because that was my next question,
Yeah.
because we always start with reading, right?
Yeah.
But what about the other subjects is what my next thing question was.
Mhm.
How do they I'm sorry, how might the strategies go in other content areas like math, which is one that they don't
Mhm.
which is one that we don't normally talk about.
Yeah.
Math. We can use those strategies in all subjects.
And it was amazing. The kids were using vocabulary, academic vocabulary, you know. They had the word bank, but everything was very, very, very well planned.
Mhm.
Okay. Um Thank y'all so much.
Mhm.
My next question is, what supports do teachers need for the implementation of this? What would the what support will the teachers need to do these strategies?
First of all, they need to have the knowledge on how to do that. So
Mhm.
that's why we gave it, Anthony and I, when we were presenting, we were playing, you know, like showing you, like modeling, yeah, that's the word,
Mhm.
modeling,
Mhm.
how to do it, right?
Mhm.
So that was one thing, modeling. And then the second support that we are giving is during planning time. We are going to be planning with the teachers and say, okay, where in your lesson do you think you can implement that?
Mhm.
So we are going to be very intentional and say, okay, how are you going to do that? You know,
Okay.
so the modeling and the support during playing time.
Excellent. And so they can do that by using modeling like sentence stems, also visuals. I thought about like anchor charts to show the students, how they need to use each strategies. I have another question. How can we share student examples or conduct peer walkthroughs to observe these strategies in actions? And the first thing I thought about was everybody putting their work outside their doors, because I know I look at Mr. Montesino's
Oh, yeah.
every day when I
Yeah,
walk
yeah,
in and
yeah.
out. That's a way teachers, because sometimes we're not on each other's hallway, but when you are, you can see what they're doing and the strategies they're using.
So, I mean, what we used to do, I mean, in my previous campus, we used to have like the teachers, how do you call this? The teachers would request to observe another teacher, you know, and then we would
Yeah.
plan for you. For example, you say, oh, I want to see, I don't know how to do the QSSA in action. So I would like to observe a teacher who's an expert on this.
Mhm.
So then we could arrange, you know, a time for you to go and observe.
Yeah, so peer observation.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
trying to
I
I love that.
Yeah.
because it's amazing how we learn from our peers.
Always.
And for example, when I was talking about all the strategies, then Miss Robinson, it was so funny because she was like, I love QSS. I use this all the time. And I'm like, oh, so you're going to be my exemplary.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so she feels so comfortable doing that. So I don't feel comfortable using that one. I like talking chips. So maybe we could rotate
Mhm.
and then each other learn, you know, you can learn from each other.
Mhm.
Yes, I love learning from other people. Anytime I can observe or learn something new, I love that. Yes. So now we've talked about our strategies and how we are going to, push our students. Let's talk about excuse me.
Mhm.
Let's talk about how our strategies are going to how we're going to reach our goals with our strategies. How are we going to reach our goals to get to the next level with our strategies?
How? Well, we are going to be doing like progress monitoring,
Mhm.
and we are going to see the increase of the level.
Mhm.
So my goal is, for example, some teachers already shared with me their Schoology course,
Mhm.
where I'm going to put like a folder with speaking and writing questions,
Mhm.
and the students are going to do this by
Mhm.
themselves, and then I'm going to, try to meet with students that I see that they're really
Right.
struggling with language, and then we can move from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that goes into our instructional linguistic accommodation form.
Yeah.
With the teachers tracking the strategies that they are using. Can we touch a little bit on that as well?
Yeah.
Another thing, because
Yes.
before, when I was a teacher, I remember everybody was doing like this. Oh, check, 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 check. Was more compliant.
Yeah.
But you need to understand that this is not just compliance.
Yes,
You
that's
are
what it's
using
been.
this
Yeah.
to give the right support for your students.
Right.
So when I met with the teachers, I went over and I show example. I said, if your students are advanced at high and we are giving 10 accommodations, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Because then you want the student to reclassify,
Right.
and the student's not going to be
That
able
makes
to,
sense.
We are. When we're sitting on LPAC, it's like we're looking to reclassify, and it cannot. You just can't
It
do a
doesn't
standard support. It has to be minimal checks, minimal support when we're talking about reclassifying a kid. And that's what they have to connect,
Yeah.
because that's one of the. It's also how we determine language too, on how they take the STAR test.
So we were discussing, like I gave to the teachers a guide, like if the student's beginner, you have this option here. If the student's intermediate and the student's advanced, if the student's advanced at high, don't give anything. Or if you want to give something because it's the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
give like one or two,
Two, right.
then remove.
Right.
And that's another thing the teachers need to understand, that you give the accommodation at the beginning of the school year. So at the middle of the school year, if you still need to give the same
And
accommodation, something is wrong.
Right. Right.
Maybe it's
You should
wrong.
be changing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
he
it's
should be
the
getting
way
better.
you
Yeah.
teach, or maybe we can identify this student has something more than language. Because
Right.
that's what I was talking to the teacher. Think about, you think this is not important, but it is so
It's
important.
very
It's
important.
a document.
Yes.
If because a teacher asked me, Miss Amanda, but I have a special ed student, but I don't have to put this every time. And I said, that's okay. Because you are going to say the student needs that,
Yeah.
because of this,
Yeah.
But if you don't do this with,
Correct.
intentional,
Right.
the way you should do,
Mhm.
then why are you doing this?
Right.
Because we need to do this to support the student. That's the point. It's
Correct.
not compliant.
Correct.
So that's why now we ask the teacher. The teachers need to put the TELPAS level.
Mhm.
Before we could put the TELPAS levels.
Yeah.
The teachers. Now they don't want us to do that. They want the teachers to do it.
So they can
Also,
know.
Level.
Yeah.
Provide the scores, but
Yeah.
even these they don't want us to do anymore.
No.
They say, you have to show them where they can get the TELPAS score.
Right.
But when it's the teacher said, oh, it's one more thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So I gave them the TELPAS score, but and still some say you didn't give me the TELPAS score. I'm like,
Yes, I
I
did.
did.
But they do. You connect better when you actually know it. You need to analyze your students and where they are.
My students begin and why?
Yeah.
Is my student newcomer? What should
Right.
I do to support
Right.
my student?
Right.
And then they say, for example, because a lot of questions they ask me like, oh, the student's a newcomer. What should I do? So it shows there. Give both side by side
Yep.
text
Yep. Yep.
in Spanish and English,
Mm-hmm.
so the student can
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. They again, I think it's a learning curve
Mhm.
because again, I think we use linguistic accommodation forms as just like compliance, like you said.
Exactly.
I know as a classroom teacher, I'm like, okay, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do it for everybody. So I'm gonna just
Mhm.
check the same
Yeah.
thing. And I know I'm hindering my kids who
Yeah.
were ready
Yeah.
to either be reclassified, you know, and a monitor if not, you know, from there. So I was like, yeah, I was victim of that.
Yeah, and now is another thing. They want the math and science teacher
Yeah.
do this, intentionally
And
because
it could look different though.
Yes.
That's what I'm learning. The accommodations may not be the same
no for
because
math.
for math as it is in ELA, and that's something that's data that we need. So when we were not we when Miss Mitchison, our Elka, was creating the sheets, she was like, should I do both subjects? Certain grade levels, yes,
Yeah.
give me both subjects because again, it could be taught in a different language.
Mhm.
The second thing is I may not have to accommodate the way I accommodate in reading as I do in math because math is more universal, right? And so I do see
And
less
math is
strategies.
easier for some, I noticed.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting because math, even when they take the math growth,
Yes.
the reason they don't want us, for example, a third grade taking Spanish,
Yeah.
they don't want them to take in English. And then I was like, why not?
Right.
And then they explained to us because it's just a translation. So they will be taking the same test
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
So you're not measuring anything.
Right.
But for reading, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even for Spanish, it's harder
Even on Star,
than in English.
it's different on
So
Star.
it's a star is
The
way
Spanish
here.
is a lot harder than
Yeah.
the English.
So we need to be very careful with all that
Yeah.
because then you think, oh, like it's a newcomer. Let's give this student well, like
Yeah.
star
Yeah.
in Spanish.
Yeah.
Most of the time they don't pass in
No.
Spanish.
Because is it even the Spanish that they speak?
It's not the
Right.
same.
It's the
Right.
more,
It's
sometimes they
grammatically
speak.
correct.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So a lot of things that we need to take it into
But as
consideration.
teacher, you have to
Yeah.
know how to analyze that. Take a
Analyze.
look at that and analyze it for each of your child because each child is different.
Different.
Yeah.
And-
Not everybody learns the same
It
Mhm.
or
is.
grasps the same concept. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So the blanket checks, yeah. So that's something that Miss Amato stressed prior to really us releasing the folders with the accommodation sheets in them. She emphasized that like you're just not gonna put blanket checks.
Yeah.
You're
Mhm.
gonna think about the child, look at their tail pass, and then put the appropriate strategies there.
Yeah, and then when I had this conversation with the teachers was very interesting.
Mhm.
With first grade teacher, for example, Mr.
Mhm.
Walters, he was like,
Okay.
"Oh, then I will need,
Okay.
yeah, I will need
You can
this,
keep
but
going.
not that, right?" So very interesting. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You keep going.
I love the linguistic form because I never thought about it being for each subject.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very valuable because, first of all, like we said, they learn differently in each subject.
Yeah.
They learn differently in each subject, and they also use different strategies in each subject. So they need to be across the board
Mm-hmm.
with working out what strategy they're going to use. And that's consistency. Okay. Because if every teacher is doing it consistently, then we have nowhere to go but up.
Mhm.
Right.
And like I said, I told the teachers that it's very important this accommodation checklist because I want to make sure that it's content, that's language and not content.
Mhm.
Because sometimes the kids are not learning the content, but the teacher comes to me and say it's language,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you were giving all this accommodation, you were doing all that,
Yeah.
and the students still not learning.
Don't know the content.
It's the content.
Yeah.
I'm
It's,
sorry.
it's different. Yeah.
It's different, but the teachers keep coming and saying, I say, okay, so we have to, like be a doctor
Mhm.
and analyze each component, to be able to
Yeah.
give the solution for this student. So, yeah, so it's very important.
Yes. All right, guys. So let's go ahead. I just want to say thank you so much. I love that I've picked this this problem in our school, because it's not only like showing me something that I didn't know, but it's rewarding because I'm able to be a part of helping with this, especially since we have, you know, bilingual kids in first grade where I teach, and I interact with them daily. So it helps me to be a better teacher for them, even though I'm not giving them direct instruction. I'm still coming into contact with them where they're feeling comfortable and where I can still do strategies even when we're at recess. We can talk, you know, and they can repeat and they can learn, you know, from me and from the other students.
I want to add something about that. This is so important because when I was in fourth grade as a teacher, my entire team, we used to switch, like switch kids, to expose them to, and they felt so comfortable with the monolingual teachers. It
Yes.
was not like, oh, I have to go there. They were like,
Yes.
oh, I'm going to Miss Williams today. So we had a day that we mix everybody.
Yeah.
So
I love
the
that.
monolingual kids, they love to come to my ELA class, and they were, oh, Miss Amada's doing this way. And then my kids would come back and say, oh, Miss Amanda, Miss Williams was doing that.
Yes.
And then I said, yes. So feel comfortable.
I love that.
And you show the kids that you guys are not separate.
Yeah.
You guys are united.
We're together. We're one. We are first grade.
Team.
This
Yes.
is so neat.
Yes.
Even I know this does not have to do with the academic, but even as far as our recess, we mix together, and I love that because they come running to my class, and I know them, you know,
Yeah.
and then we all can have fun together, and they're also learning too. They may not be using academic vocabulary, but they're learning, you know, vocabulary and learning to be social with their friends here at school.
Part of being bicultural.
Yes. So I want to say once again, thank you all for the valuable insights and collaboration today. As we reflect on our discussion, it's clear that our shared goal is to ensure every emergent bilingual student here at E.A. Jones Elementary has the opportunity to grow as a confident, and that's the most important thing, confident communicator and writer and critical thinker. And we say confident because, like we say, we want them to be able to pull it out, not to be scared or not to be shut down. So that's where that practice comes into place, that helps them to be a confident speaker and writer. The strategies that we select today was the QSSA. And remember, the QSSA was the question, signal, stem, share, assess, which is structure response framework for academic talk. We also talked about the talk, read, talk, write. And that is the connecting oral language and reading to writing task. And it aligns directly with our TELPAS data and campus improvement goals. These approaches will help us provide structured, equitable opportunities for students to practice academic language every day across all subjects in the entire school. And over the next several weeks, we'll begin implementing these strategies. Some people have already started.
Yeah.
I know we have, across the classrooms. So here's our plan moving forward. Each teacher will introduce QSSA prompts and sentence stems in at least one lesson per week to promote academic dialogue. And I'm like in every subject. So reading, writing, math, social studies, science. Okay. And we'll also integrate talk, read, talk, write into reading and content lessons to bridge oral language and writing. Okay, we'll collect writing samples and observe student discussions when we're doing our turn-in talks to measure growth in vocabulary, fluency, and sentence complexity. We will meet again to analyze progress and share student artifacts during observation video 3, which is reporting, monitoring, and adjusting. And of course, before video 3, we're going to meet plenty of times throughout the week with PLCs and with each other. I just want to say thank you again to each of you for your openness, professionalism, and commitment to this work. The success of our emerging bilingual students depends on intentional collaboration like this, where data drives decisions and strategies are chosen with purpose, and we do everything with purpose. Your voices and expertise are helping to shape meaningful change on our campus. Together, we are not only addressing achievement gaps, but also building a culture of language equity and academic excellence. Thank you again for being a part of this process and for investing in the growth of our students. I'm confident that with these strategies in place, we should see measurable improvement in both student engagement and our language proficiency. Let's continue to support one another as we implement, monitor, and adjust these practices in the coming weeks so we can reach our goals here at EA Jones. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Hopefully, I think we were short.
We short?
I think so.
Short?
I think we were
Why?
short 30 seconds. See,
But she said, I saw 46 or something.
but we started at 1:30.